fighting game genre is known for its execution requirement and precision. That's why it's important to have a controller you feel comfortable using. Luckily nowadays, there are many different controller types for your preference or needs. We have things from the default console controller, hitboxes, mix boxes, pizza boxes. Nani? My preferred controller method is the traditional arcade stick with a lever and buttons. Today I'll be giving a facelift and modding one of my favorite sticks in my collection. And with that intro out of the way, here's the build. So starting off with the joystick, I have a Crown 309 MJ New Help Me. Now I have an original Crown 309 MJ and I just wanted to see the differences between the two, so I got this one. So this joystick comes with two differently sized actuators, one 16.2mm and one 16.3mm. I opted for the larger 16.3mm for this build. And to top it all off, I went with a blue Crown DX bat top to match the art and the buttons. And speaking of the buttons, for the main 6 action buttons, I went with blue gamer fingers. Now, gamer fingers are hard to come by, and I just happen to have these laying around, so thank goodness for me. And I'll be using gray gamer fingers for what would be the L1 and the L2 buttons. For the arcade stick we're going to mod, I'm going to be using a Mad Catz TES Plus, which holds a lot of sentimental value for me because this is my first true quality fight stick I've ever owned. And the main reason I keep coming back to this fight stick is the build quality and the size. This stick is portable but can still take a beating, which is great because I do intend to use this as a travel stick whenever I get to travel again. Now, while I love the stick for its portability, there is some hassle when putting a Korean lever into it, so I actually had to use a rotary tool and carve out some of the plastic off the insides. Also, to fit one of the screw-in buttons, I actually had to use the same rotary tool and grind out the metal on the mounting plate. Now that we got all the parts out of the way, let's get to the assembly, starting with screwing on the Crown 309 Help Me onto the fight stick. Next, I use this 5-pin conversion harness that will allow me to use the K lever with a Sanwa type harness. So this clear plexi will go on top of both the metal panel and the art, essentially keeping the art sandwiched between the two. And the art is probably my favorite part of this build, because as you can see right here, it's Jita from Granblue dressed as Chun-Li. I'll leave a link to the artist down below, and all I really did was add my tag in the bottom right corner, so you can see that right there too. After I sandwiched the art between the plexi and the top panel, I used the buttons to secure them all in place. So my gamer finger buttons are screw-in, and that's definitely more of my preference just because I don't want to run the risk of breaking tabs like you would on normal push buttons. So after all the buttons are screwed in, I wired them and the lever up, and now it's just time to put the top panel back. Now granted, it's still a tight fit with the K lever, so I might actually go back and cut out some more plastic so that the K lever has more room, but this is the best I can do for right now. Either way, after we screw and secure the top panel, we're pretty much set. So despite any issues putting a Korean lever in such a small fight stick, I actually had a good time with this mod. I'm recording this a week after I assembled this fight stick, and I'll give my thoughts in a different video about how I feel about the respective parts, but overall, I'm enjoying it very much. If you like this type of video and you want to see more videos about fight sticks or fighting games in general, feel free to hit the subscribe button if you feel so inclined to do so. I want to thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance, and stay safe.